String Champ Show. This is your host, Tony. And we have a very, very, very special guest this evening. We have Miss Perrion Roberts. And if you don't know who she is, you will know after this interview. You can Google her. You know, you can do all of that. But we're going to get right into her story. We're going to let her talk a little bit about herself, about her background, about what she's doing now down here in Alabama. So we're going to dive right into it. Welcome, Miss Roberts. I'm not going to call you Miss, but I'm going to call you Perrion. Is that's okay with you?
That's
call you
fine
Perrion?
with me. Yes, that's
right.
fine.
All right, we'll do it just like that. So we just want to just dive right into it. I thank you for coming today, and we just want to dive right into it for our listeners. We just want to start at your very beginning. Okay, we just want to start at how you grew up or where you grew up. If you could just tell our listeners where you're from and just get a little insight about your childhood and how you got going, starting up.
Okay. I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama. I was born in the 60s, in 1964, and I grew up in a very modest home. Working parents, two-parent home. I went to Catholic school. I graduated high school. I went to college, and ultimately, I ventured off into selling drugs. I started dating a guy that led to me going off into selling drugs. And that led me into me becoming a queenpin, and that what led to me being on the BET special American Gangster Trap Queens. And from there, Vlad TV, and I've been on Essence and different platforms. But that wasn't just the highlight of my life. I also went to prison, and while I was incarcerated, I filed lawsuits against the DOC for changes in the prison, helping women get out of prison, and also changing the conditions of the prison. Which also, I was given a 21-year sentence, which I was at the time the first person to receive 21-year sentence. And I was also the first person to get out in 2 years on a 21-year sentence. And then I received a full pardon after I got out. And I also sued Alabama for, I started the lawsuit to sue Alabama for ex-felons to be able to vote in the state of Alabama. But while the lawsuit was going on, I received my pardon. So I had to step down out of the lawsuit because it no longer applied to me because I was able to vote. So someone else had to step into that place, but I was the one that initiated it.
Nice.
And we did win that in 2017.
Yes.
And so now I'm partnering up with the Alabama Justice Initiative to get a bill started against the Pardon and Parole Board to make some changes with their policy, because they do not release enough people from their sentencing, because you actually supposed to do a third of your sentence and be released. They don't do that, and then they give people, when people go up for parole, they set them back for the maximum that Alabama allow, which is 5 years. They set everybody off 5 years.
Wow.
And then people that go up for a pardon, they deny everyone just on the 7th, they saw 58 cases. And out of that 58 cases, they only granted 5 people.
Wow.
They gave 3 people a parole and 2 people a pardon
Mm.
out of 58. And
That's
that's ridiculous.
yeah, that's definitely crazy. Wow. So yeah, you just touched on a lot there for our listeners. Like Perrion was just saying that she, she went to prison for 2 years, right?
Well,
And
no, they gave me 21 years.
let's get that correct. They gave you 21.
Right, and I
You
served two
you
years.
served 2 years. You
Yeah.
were pardoned. It's this back in 2014.
Yes.
2014, you were pardoned down here in Alabama, and which is amazing because just from when I was just doing a little homework on you, I've never heard of that before, and it really struck me because I'm like, okay, growing up, I grew up in the DC area. I've been around this different lifestyles, this different things, and even in my own family, when a person of our color is incarcerated and given 20 plus years or given 10, given a significant amount of time, we don't see him again. And I just really applaud you for coming out here and just changing your life around and getting into the community and representing us, because I feel like definitely for you being a Black woman, you know, you're a double minority. you know,
Right.
you're a woman and you're Black. So I applaud you for that for sure. And that's big. That's big, and I feel like that should be celebrated out here. That definitely should be celebrated more in society than it is. So I will want to just backtrack just a little bit because I do want to talk about your work with the NAACP and your work in the community. I know a lot about you already just from just research and everything, but I just have to backtrack for our listeners who might not know about you.
Yes.
So you grew up in Huntsville, Alabama.
Correct.
Huntsville, Alabama. Okay, and you are the oldest of 4 kids.
Correct.
Am I right? Okay,
Yes.
so I just want to get your story on growing up in a home. How was it growing up, being a young Black woman, being a young Black girl in the South? I just moved to Montgomery as an adult man in the 2000s. So how was it in the 60s and the early 70s being a person of color down here in the South, and how was your home dynamic as far as being Black in the South, really?
Well, you know, as far as me growing up,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't ever experience the racism that
Mm-hmm.
that was really going on. So I didn't never see it.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw it on the television, and we know that the KKK did march in our downtown area and stuff like that. But my parents didn't never take us around that, so we didn't never see it, like personally see it.
Mm-hmm.
But we would see it on the news, or I did. My brothers didn't, and my mother would make sure that I saw it, and she taught me stuff. She would
Mm-hmm.
make sure that I see it because my mother did the set-in when Martin Luther King and stuff. They did
Nice.
the set-in. She and her sister
Mm-hmm.
was arrested, and they did all sort of things and stuff growing up. And she made sure that I learned a lot, but I didn't personally see any of that, and I was not. Um, I didn't see racism,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't never experience any racism or was affected by any until actually a couple of years ago when I moved into a neighborhood, and my neighbors
Mm-hmm.
really displayed a lot of racism towards me that
Mm.
I never experienced before in my entire life, and they literally to the point that they went downtown, lied on me. One of the older ones had lied on me, had me arrested, and um, for he said I cursed him out and threatened him with a 2x4, and they literally arrested me for disorderly conduct, and I had
Wow.
to go to court. And just because the DA and the sheriff and everyone knew me, they
Mm-hmm.
dismissed it. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing about it is, what if they didn't know me? And what if, this had been another era, and I would have had to go to prison or something and lose my home and everything because of he lied on me.
Exactly. Exactly.
It could
Yeah.
have been totally different because I'm black, and he didn't like black people, and he didn't like the fact that I had pits. And you
Mm-hmm.
harassed me and my son the entire time that I've been out here. They literally harassed us. I couldn't even come outside. And half the time I wasn't even home because I was on tour and I wasn't at home. But whenever I'm home, you harassed us every time
And,
we come outside.
and for our listeners, I'm sorry to cut you off. This is recently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. This was recently, and I never experienced that in my entire life until
Mm-hmm.
this was recently.
Mm.
And so but growing up, I'd never experienced that, so it was just new to me. But yeah, that's
Definitely.
what happened. But
Yeah.
growing up, no, I never. So
Yeah, that's definitely because I know before I moved down here, I was a little hesitant moving down. Just I didn't know how it was. Even in 2000s, you hear things. Grow up history class and things like that. You hear, oh, the Deep South, how the Deep South is. You hear about history class. You hear about Emmett Till. You hear about all those different stories.
right,
And I never personally being grown, I've never personally experienced anything myself, down here. I can't say maybe I might get like certain little looks in the gas station, but that may be me thinking a little too hard. So,
right,
but
right.
yeah, that's definitely unfortunate as far as and rough as far as like you can't even I'm assuming were they white neighbors maybe.
Yes, yeah. This is
Mm-hmm.
it's a white neighborhood. It's about 200 white out here and about 5 black.
Okay.
And it's like the people that lived in this house were black, and I guess they ran them off. And I'm like, I'm not running nowhere. You're not gonna run
Right.
me off, So
Exactly.
anyway, they finally left me alone. I don't know what the DA now finally told them, but they don't bother me now. So
There you go. So there, yeah, that's cleared up. There we go. Oh yeah, that's cleared up right there. So yes,
yeah.
so
So
so we can move on from that, and
yeah.
let's go ahead and touch on growing up in Huntsville. Okay, uh, we're gonna just jump right into coming up right, and hey, I'm gonna say I'm just going to touch on this person's name. I don't know, if I can touch on some names, if that's okay.
Okay.
You met a guy named Champ
Yes.
coming up. Okay, he was a couple years older than you, and
Yes.
just want to just for our listeners, just to, who don't know, okay, what was the significance of that relationship, or what was the significance of how you got into the drug industry coming up?
Champ was my boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and at first he we wasn't into the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was doing other little petty crimes and stuff,
I
and
feel you. I feel you.
then I was working and going to A&M, and so then he said, well, they was out there, they selling marijuana and making money, so why don't we
Mm-hmm.
try it? So we did. We tried it, and we lost money at first,
Mm-hmm.
and we
I feel
we
you.
didn't make no money at first, and
Right.
so we had to wait, and I had to work a little harder and save a few more checks and buy some more, and we still didn't make.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, we caught on, and we started making a little money, and we started making a little more money, and so
Mm-hmm.
finally we started making money, and then when we started making a lot of money and stuff, and then Champ got into it with a guy, and he shot a guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he ultimately had to go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
And we had money on the street, but I was never the one out there. I was going to school and working, so people didn't see me, but I was the
Right.
one bagging it up and
Mm-hmm.
counting the money. But
Mm-hmm.
people never saw me in the streets. And so when he went to prison, then I had to come out here and collect the money. And
Mm-hmm.
so by them not seeing me, then they was hesitant about giving me the money.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I had to I shot this guy in the leg because he didn't know that I would shoot. See, I shot at Jump one time before, so
Okay.
so
And you,
so they
you ain't
didn't
putting
know
no
that I would
games.
shoot. But Champ knew that I would shoot,
Right.
and so anyways, they soon found out that I wasn't nothing to play with, and
Right.
and then they stopped paying. They paid up pretty quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and then I tried to do it, and man, it just wasn't paying off like I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
So I just decided to just go back to school, and then about a year or so, that's when I ran into Po Boy, and
Mm-hmm.
he told me that Po Boy, uh, when he was younger, he used to come up to the house, up to
Mm-hmm.
Champsome house because he's Champsome cousin. He used to
Mm-hmm.
come up there, and I used to take all the little boys. They used to go stealing anyways, and
Okay.
I used to take them around to keep them from walking, and I used to
Right.
take them around, and so and drive them around, and so
Mm-hmm.
he done growed up. And so he said he had it going on. And I said, yeah, right. And so he said, yeah, I do. I got it going on. I'm selling cocaine. I didn't believe him. He said, yes, I do. Come out there. I'll show you. So I did. And he actually did. And so he was showing me. And I said, yeah, I could do this. And he was showing me how much money I could make.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's how that started. And so then I bought some. And then
Mm-hmm.
I made more money. I was like, okay, yeah. So then that's how that got started.
Mm-hmm.
So then year and a half later, he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so,
So we're talking
you
about Po
know,
Boy.
yeah.
There you go.
And
Okay.
so, yeah. And he had a little crew. And I liked the fact that he had a little crew. Me and Chum didn't have a little crew.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me and him. And I like the fact that he had a little crew and and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
and so he taught me a little something,
Right.
and so when he died, that's how I just grabbed his little crew, and said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, y'all not a leader, y'all have a leader. I'm a leader, so I grabbed onto
Exactly.
him, and
Exactly.
that's how that happened,
I got
and
you.
so
I got
we
you.
went from there.
Got you. All right. So okay. So just following your story here. Okay. So um respect the dead here. So Popo is dead, right?
Yeah,
And you're the head of the operation right now. So I'm just painting
right.
a picture. Okay. And at the time, was this just for our listeners here? I'm following you, but crack or cocaine at the time?
Cocaine was powder cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
and we was putting them in bindles then, and
Okay,
keeping them in medicine bottles and rice and stuff.
I
That's
got
how
you.
we was doing it then.
I
And
got you.
then about probably about a year later, that's
Mm-hmm.
when crack came to the scene, and another friend of mine introduced me to the crack, and that's how that came into play. And then I started selling crack.
I got you. Okay,
Yeah,
so we just run down here. Okay, so at the time, okay, I'm not gonna be politically correct right now. So at the time, how much weight are you guys pushing at the time right now? Like you know, what you guys doing right now? that when you took over?
When I took over, we wasn't doing a whole lot. We was
Hmm.
pushing probably a couple 100,000. That with then we didn't really start making a whole lot of money until when I got linked up with the Mexicans, and that was further on
Hmm.
down the line. That was years. That was
So we
years later.
so we talking about a month. So we're talking money or we talking kilos? For our listeners, we're
Oh,
talking two
well,
hundred
we
thousand a
talking.
month.
Yeah, we
Okay,
that was like a couple 100,000 a month then.
that's
With
money.
pushing. Well, yeah, that was just with the little crew then.
I
That
got you.
was yeah. That was just our little crew out in the project then.
Hmm.
That wasn't a lot then.
Okay, okay, okay. So okay, let's just go right into it. Okay, so you're building up the operation, right? Okay, you're building up. This is. Are you still dabbling in marijuana at the time, or is this just strictly?
No. Oh
This is
no.
strictly.
No.
Yeah,
When I gave up marijuana, I gave it all the way up.
I got you. I got you. Okay, so just want you to paint the picture for us. So we're just going down the timeline right now. If you don't mind. So Po Boy's dead. Took over the operation. Okay, you calling the shots now? What's going on now?
Oh yeah. I
Hmm.
started calling the shots immediately.
Okay, okay.
Immediately. Um then then we started going to I started moving towards Birmingham,
Hmm.
um picking up some fellas in Birmingham.
Hmm.
Um but then it was just from Huntsville to Birmingham. Um then then on from like 91 we started moving towards Montgomery,
Hmm.
and then some. Then when I started going down towards Mobile was like 90, 91, 92, around in there.
Hmm.
um but I just had some guys down through there. But like when I was in Montgomery, I had
Hmm.
guys in Smiley Court, Tulane Court,
Hmm.
down through there. I had them in the projects, and in Birmingham in the projects and stuff. But
Hmm.
in Mobile, it was just some guys that was just down through there. Um, and then that's when I started linking up with the Mexicans and stuff, because I had a whole lot of guys then. I had about 70 guys working for me.
Oh man,
Yeah, so so
that's deep. That's
so
deep.
I really I had more guys than I had product. So so I really couldn't keep up with the demand.
Hmm.
Um, so so I was making a ton of money.
Man, yeah, that's. Uh,
And
oh,
I
go
was
ahead. I'm
running my
listening to you.
I was running myself raggedy. I felt I was running, but I was having fun at the same
Yes,
time. And
yes, yes.
I had a lot of respect everywhere I went. They
Hmm.
respected me. Um, I've never, nowhere where I've ever been did anyone ever, um, I've never been robbed.
Hmm.
I've never been beat or raped or cut or
Hmm.
shot at or nothing.
Hmm.
I've had nothing but respect, because I gave respect. And when I come, everyone know that it's about business and they're gonna make
Hmm.
money,
Hmm.
you know.
Definitely, most
So
definitely, most definitely, definitely. Respect it. And for our listeners, you have a nickname. I want you to give your nickname as well while we're here.
uh,
Let's let that be
uh,
known.
I've been called the Black Widow. I've been
Hmm.
called Queen P. I've been
Hmm.
called China um, P. Um, What else? That's about it.
Yeah, a
But
few names. Yeah, a few
yeah,
names. A
a
few
few
names.
names.
Yes.
I
No
can't
doubt.
keep up with all of
I hear you.
them.
It's not a problem. So we're
No,
just going down the timeline here. So okay, you're with the Mexican Connect now, okay? Um, from Texas. Am I right? Or
right.
just want to
That's
make sure
right.
I'm right. Mike Allen. Okay, let's get into that just a little bit. How'd you get the Mexican Connect? Because that's got to be somebody got to be a plug for that. You know what I mean? I mean, or it's just was that po' boy or was that
No, I met him at the car wash.
oh man, okay, so this is just all right. So you
It's
just meet
just
at the car
random.
wash and okay.
It's just random.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Really, I just really, I know a lot of people just on a pull up,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and pull up and holler. It's like you can really, uh, I don't know. I just had a thing to, I don't know. I could just pick people, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I could just look at people and know that they
Mm-hmm.
was I don't know. It was just weird. I could just spot a person and know that you was,
You
you was
you had
you
that
was
sixth sense, like you could just tell.
yeah.
Okay,
I could just
they
tell. Yeah.
real. Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
feel you.
And so we was at a car wash, Huntsville,
Mm-hmm.
just started talking, we just
Mm-hmm.
talked the language, and I just asked him about some stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
words led to one word, and and I
Mm-hmm.
asked him about some stuff, and I needed some stuff, you know. So we tried out a little stuff. A little stuff
Mm-hmm.
led to a couple of this and a couple of that, and it led to more. So
Got you. Oh,
and
got
that's
you.
how it led. So whenever I go down there,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ever bring it back. I just went down there and paid for it. They would always send mules back with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I just go down there and pay for it.
And for our green listeners, if they don't know what a mule is, can you? I know what a mule is. Just let us know what a mule is.
Man, it's their people bringing it back in
Mm-hmm.
their trucks. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's their haulers.
So for the new
And
school, is that like a runner?
yeah,
Like
a
almost
runner.
some sense. Okay, just
Yeah,
want to dumb it down for them a little bit,
yeah.
just a little bit. Okay, so what year are we talking? You guys meet at the car wash. What year? What year are we talking here?
That was around 90, like
90.
90, like 90.
Okay, so early 90s. Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So correct me if wrong. If I'm wrong. So things are starting to build up. You meet Mike Allen. He's a Mexican. He's the connect. Okay.
Yeah.
You're building up your operation. Okay. So in '92, if we can just talk about your arrest in '92 and how that unfolded, and for our listeners, which is going on the timeline, we're carrying on here. If you haven't followed us, met Mike Allen in the early '90s. Okay, '92 happened. So if you can let us know what happened in '92.
92, I got arrested for capital murder.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
for, for a murder that I wasn't even in town for. But I got arrested for murder,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and I had to go to trial for it, and I was acquitted on it. Um,
Yes.
Actually, me and part of my crew was arrested for it. My crew was arrested first,
Mm-hmm,
and I had to get them released,
mm-hmm,
and then I had to turn myself in once they got released. Then I had to turn
mm-hmm,
myself in, and then I went to trial. And when I went to trial, they found me not guilty,
mm-hmm,
and so I wasn't even in town, so I didn't do it. And the guys that did it, they came from Birmingham that done it,
mm-hmm,
and so they were found guilty for it. So they did find the guys that did it, But yeah, I was
Got you.
charged for something that I did not do.
So you beat that. I mean, so okay, so you beat that case. I mean, that's big. I mean, capital murder. I mean, talking about the Deep South. I mean, uh,
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that's big time. So let me ask you,
Well,
how
that's
did it?
because they was really
Mm-hmm.
trying to get me for anything that they could, because
Mm-hmm.
they wanted me for because they couldn't catch me with this with no drugs, so they get me with this. They just tried anything that they could just try to get me with. They wanted me that bad.
Mm-hmm.
They even
Right.
tried to pin a murder on me. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't do. I
Right.
wasn't even in town. How are you gonna pin a
Mm-hmm.
murder on me that I wasn't even in town for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's
So let me
yeah.
ask you. I mean, how did it? I mean, how did it feel? Okay, when the jury said you're not guilty.
Well,
Let's
the
just paint a
jury didn't
picture.
even get a chance to deliberate. The
Okay.
judge,
So
the
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 judge.
the judge
Okay.
said that I wasn't guilty. He said he didn't even let the jury deliberate on that.
Mm-hmm.
He just stepped up and said he wasn't even going to continue with that. He said, he said he just stepped up and said that he was going to acquit me. He said,
There you go.
he was done with that. He didn't want to hear no
Mm-hmm.
more.
So that's big. I mean, you got the judge is deciding, hey,
Yeah.
this is out. I mean, let's take us to it. Like, how did that feel? I can't even imagine. So I don't want to sound like crazy. I know I would feel like just like relief. But how did that feel like just getting acquitted of capital murder? Because that's not a slap on. That's not like a little petty
No.
charge, or you know what I mean. So how did that feel getting acquitted of capital murder? And you probably capital murder. Let's be clear. Facing life in prison.
Oh
So.
wow. It was like it felt like I don't know, like 10,000 tons of bricks had just
Mm,
lifted up off my shoulder.
mm-hmm.
And then it was this really chaotic because the first day of trial, it was someone in the courtroom with a duffel bag with a gun in there to shoot me.
Oh my goodness. I
It
mean,
was crazy. It was crazy.
yeah, that's
It was
that's a
it was
movie.
crazy. It was crazy.
Good.
Before that, when the guy had got shot that night, the boy's father was laying out at my apartment in some bushes with a shotgun waiting to shoot me if I'd have came home. It
This
was
is
just
crazy.
crazy.
This
It
is
was
crazy.
crazy. I wasn't even in town. I wasn't even
That's
in
just.
town. It was crazy. All
I
of that
mean,
was crazy. It
so
was
that's just
crazy.
how bad. Like, that. That's not just how bad. I don't know if they wanted you like that. Just your name, just being out there. Just I'm gonna go ahead and say being a head honcho, being a woman out there. Uh, how was that? So you end up beating the case. Okay, you met a Mexican guy who was affiliated with the Mexican cartels, and you're a woman. Like, what was the respect like? Was it hard getting respect from the men, or was it any type of resistance? Taking over, like just taking over at all,
Mm,
or
at
was it just?
first,
Mm-hmm.
at first it was, but as time went on, they automatically knew that I was I just didn't play. I didn't play games.
Mm-hmm.
So people just respected me because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
play games. I was about business. I just didn't play the games that other people play. It's about
Mm-hmm.
business for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
either you come to do business, or if you go to play games, you go over there and play games. I do business over here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how I roll.
I
We don't play
got you.
games over here. Me and my guys, we don't play games over here. And I didn't allow them to play games,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't allow them to do certain things. So, and they'll tell you, like when it's time to work, they can't have the girls around. They
Mm-hmm.
couldn't go off and be with their girls and have sex and all that. If you do that, bye. You can't
Mm-hmm.
work no more. Go get your job.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they'll tell you. You know.
I got you. I got you. Um, okay, so like I said, you're linked up with the Mexican cartel. I don't want to get too deep into that. But okay, you linked up with the head honcho, Mexican cartel. Okay, so you got a plug. Okay,
Right.
so I think I asked before, but I just want to dive into how many kilos per week were coming, like a week. You know, because I'm big on. I tell you what, I'm big on these documentaries. I grew up in a certain area, like I'm big on that, and I grew up in the DC area, Frankfurt Admit. So I follow a lot of these different documentaries, a lot of these different individuals. So I did want to ask you that you've been a woman, and me being down in Alabama and finding out about you. So I did want to just ask certain things to you.
We were getting them like once a month. We get them in once a month because it took them that long to come. Because it was getting like we were getting them like every 3 months, then twice a month,
Mm-hmm.
then once a month. Because it
Mm-hmm.
would take them that long. Because sometimes they get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
It would take them a minute to get here because something may happen or
Mm-hmm.
something. So sometimes it take them a minute to get because that's a good piece. That's a good drive
Mm-hmm.
from down there to up here.
Mm-hmm.
So the wait for it to get here. So
Mm-hmm.
it may not come once a week.
I got
So
you.
whenever we get it is when we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but sometimes be once a month. Once a month we'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the most I would get would be like 150 keys.
150
I
keys.
yeah, I didn't want any more than that.
And that's a
I could
lot.
have got yeah, I could have got more than that. I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't want no more than that. Um, that's all I really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I could have got more.
I
But
got you. So at this
that's
point, okay, you bringing in 150, 200 keys a month. I'm sorry, was that a week or a month?
a month.
A month. Okay, so
Yeah. Cause
let's talk money.
by the time it come, we ready for it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? By that time I can be seeing all my surroundings. I can be
Mm-hmm.
seeing what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, in the city, around the city, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it just worked out that way.
I
Worked
got
out
you.
better for me.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I feel you. So at that time, you making ballpark figure what? M 1 million, 2 million a month
about two.
easily.
Round
About
two,
two.
easy. By two, by the time I
Mm-hmm.
pay everybody and get everybody
Mm-hmm.
paid, it's get
Mm-hmm.
everybody paid, and
Right, right.
it's about two once we break it all down.
I got you. So how did that feel being a young black woman um, with power? Making buku's amount of money a month. I mean, you know, I'm sure you taking care of everybody's family, taking care of different things. Like, what was that feeling like? Like, because a lot of people in that lifetime they not touching that type of money. So what's that feeling like? Walking around.
At first, it felt real, real good. At
Mm-hmm.
first,
Mm-hmm.
and my thing was, I always looked out for a lot of people and a lot of kids and stuff. I've
Mm-hmm.
always, done a lot for people at Christmas time and a lot for the homeless
Mm-hmm.
and different stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so
It's
that
big.
always feels good to me. And then, to me, it was like a game. So I always like knocked out the bigger player. And so when I started knocking out the bigger player in the game, well, then when they're gone and there's nobody left to knock out, then it's just me, and then I'm playing the game by myself. Then it's no fun no more. And so then I started getting bored, and then when I lost my mom and my grandmother, and then it's no longer fun no more, and it's no longer no more excitement to me, and I just didn't. It just wasn't fun no more, and I just didn't care about the game no more, and so I just didn't care no more. I was done, and so I just was tired. That's when I started giving up, and I didn't care.
Man. Okay,
so the money didn't matter no more.
Right.
I didn't care. It didn't matter to me no more.
Oof. Man. So you had, death in the family. You're making a lot of money. Like you said, for listeners, run it down. It feels good getting it, but after a while, it's like, okay, money is money, and you start losing folks around, family around you, and it's not the same. So I'm just making sure I'm staying on track with you. Okay.
Right.
So we're just going to jump a little ahead because I know you talk about this all the time. So I just want to jump a little ahead. Okay. So let's just fast forward to, we talked about the early 90s. We talked about the Mexican cartel. We talked about beating the capital murder case. Let's fast forward to 2001. And I know what happened through in 2001. I just want you, if you don't mind, to explain what went down in 2001 during that time period.
2001.
2001. Okay. So, oh, you want me? I can expand upon it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. So in 2001. Okay. So basically, you were, Queenpin for, this is what, total 30-year run, right?
Oh, when I got busted.
Right. Right. So I'm letting you, paint the picture for us, but so this is 2001. After decades of you in the game, and this year comes, and just want to see what led up to that. Everybody see the movies and different things, but this is real life. Are they following you at this time? What's going on during this time period?
2001 is when I basically is when I just was tired. I had just got real tired, and I had prayed, and I had asked God for a way out. And so I said, God, how do you get out of the game if you're the executioner? Usually when you're in a gang and there's an execution, you can't get out because there's an executioner, so you can't get out.
Right.
But if you're the executioner, how do you get out? And I said, I'm so tired. I want a way out, but I don't know how to get out. So I just left it at that. Went on about my business. And so this guy I had met, I had a truck coming in. They had got caught. They had got stopped. And they had called me and said, well, it's going to be another week. And that week came. They called me again. They said, well, they had to make a turn. They won't be there for another week. That's weird. I'm like, that don't sound right. Why they keep putting me off like this? Because that, usually a week, they'll usually be here. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I said, all right. I know it'll be here because they said it. So I met this guy. I had been knowing him for about 6 months. I said, well, let me grab something just to be making some money. Well, I didn't know he had got busted at the bus station with 2 kilos. So I met up with him at the grocery store parking lot. We go meet him. I told my guys never do business in a grocery store parking lot because you can't watch everybody in the cars and you can't watch every exit.
Mm-hmm.
So I did what I told them not to do. Met up there with him at the grocery store parking lot. That's where they got me at. They had helicopters and everything. SWAT,
Man.
they had everybody on me. One person. They had everybody. You should have seen it. It was like in LA. They had helicopters, they had
Man.
everything. And when I got out the car, I just threw my hands behind my back and I just looked up in the sky. I said, "This is not what I meant.
Right.
This is not what I meant.
I hear you.
I didn't want this way out."
I hear you on that.
So anyways, but that was my exit, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
way he wanted me to exit out, because he had something else for me to do,
Right.
and so here I am, and
Mm-hmm.
he had another journey for me,
Exactly.
so here I am.
Yes, man. Like I said, God is good all the time. Big believer in God, and big believer in you pray for something. You don't always, not you don't always. 9 times out of 10, you don't get it how you think you're gonna get it, and
Absolutely
that's a big example what you just gave, but it worked out in the end for you.
right.
And I think that's big. I think that's big, and that's real. Um, okay, so you get, like a terminology, you get busted, get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about, okay, the little research. Okay, they try to offer you 99 years, which is absurd. Okay, so they try to offer you 99 years. Is this during that time? I just want to make sure I'm on the right track here. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the DA offered me 99 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I said 99 years. Well, what happened? They didn't take me to court for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so within that 3 years, I had ran into my arresting officer and his family at a furniture store. And he asked me, he said, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Sure."
Mm-hmm.
So me and my daughter was in the furniture store. So we sat there and we talked for 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finished talking, he said, "I'm going to help you." He said, "Because you're not the person that they said you are."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I'm going to help you." So he went to the DA and he asked them for a 5-year split 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
A 5-year split 8 months. That's what it was, or something like that. Anyway, he turned it down and
Mm-hmm.
took him off my case.
Mm-hmm.
Well, never in history had they took a person, arresting officer, off of a case.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, when we went to court, my lawyer and the DA got into it really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the DA told him that if he gonna offer me 21 years. And if
Mm-hmm.
I don't take the 21 years, that if I
Mm-hmm.
go to trial,
Mm-hmm.
that he'll automatically, if I lose, which I'll lose because I got caught with some drugs.
Right.
So he'll automatically give me the 99 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a choice. Either take the 21 or take my chances and get 99.
Right.
So I went home, I prayed about it. I could hear the Lord talk to me. He said, "No matter what they give you, you're only going to do 2 years."
Mm-hmm.
Lord, are you talking to me? I was like,
Yeah.
ain't nobody in this house but me.
Yeah.
And I know I heard 2 years. And so I stood on there. I said, I went to court. They asked me, they said, "Anything you like to say before we impose sentence?" I said, "Yes." I said, no matter what you give me, I'm only gonna do 2 years. Thus said the Lord. They
Mm,
looked at me like I was crazy.
mm-hmm,
So anyway, went on. I took that 21 years.
mm,
When I got to prison, the parole board gave me my setup 2 weeks after I was in prison. I went in March '04. My parole setup was for March '06.
mm, mm.
And I made parole March '06.
That's God. Definitely. There's no
two
other
years
way.
two
Two
years to
years.
the Lord.
2 years to the Lord and 2 years to the date, right? I mean,
two
March
years on
'04.
the and that's not even a third of 21, because a third of 21 is 7 years.
Exactly. Exactly. Man.
And
Whew. I mean, yeah, that's big. I mean, to be facing that amount of time and, you know, like we were just talking about, you pray for something, and many times we pray for things and we get blessings in other ways. Yeah, you still serve time, but that was nowhere near the amount of time that was given to you. And I mean, if you're not a believer in God, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So man, that's big. um where we go from here? Okay, so
Mhm.
let's just backtrack just a little bit. We're still on the same path. Okay, so we just want to talk about how you got pardoned and a little bit about. So you go into prison for 2 years, and you you know I'm doing 2 years. Everybody else, she's doing some time. I'm doing two
Oh yeah.
years. So that was your
Right.
mindset. So let's just explain to the listeners how it transpired in prison and where you were residing at when you were in prison, and what transpired as far as how you got pardoned. What transpired there?
Okay. Okay. So when I went to prison, I was at Tuckwalla prison.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was in prison, I filed a lawsuit against the Department of Corrections
Mm-hmm.
for it started with the medical, because I have rheumatoid arthritis and I had surgery on my elbow. Well, they would not take me to an outside specialist
Mm-hmm.
because they said that they don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked them why, and
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't give me no answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they would give me no medication that I was taking. So, anyways, started filing lawsuits. So I made them by
Mm-hmm.
filing the lawsuits, and the judge on honored the lawsuits. So now they have to take inmates to outside specialists, uh, to internal medicine doctors to be
Mm-hmm.
seen, and right today because
Mm-hmm.
of me. And
Right.
and then I filed a lawsuit against the religion because they didn't have any um, Qurans in the women prison
I got you.
and nothing of that nature. And so they had to do that, and they had not painted the prison, and they had lead in the paint. And
Mm-hmm.
so I made them paint the prison, and they had to get an internal medicine doctor because the doctor
Mm-hmm.
that they had was a retired gynecologist. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of stuff that they had to do and make some changes. And
Mm-hmm.
then one of the officers, couple of the officers beat a woman to death, and so they had to pay the consequences for that. And so just a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a lot of changes going on while I was
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And so then of course I made parole, and
Mm-hmm.
I came out.
There you
And
go. Yes, yes, yes.
and, and so when I got out of prison, I got a pretty decent job. Um, at National Copper, and then I started working with kids that have been in trouble for the first time with the detention center called the Phoenix program.
Nice.
And so then I applied for my pardon, and I got my pardon 7 years after I was released from prison. I got a full pardon in the state of Alabama, which is very rare.
Yeah.
And
For those who
that
don't know.
yeah, that you get it, especially with a record like mine. This is very rare. And so I was able to vote, and I got all of my rights. And
Right.
and then what else I did? Oh, and I did a lot. I
Yeah.
worked with the NAACP.
We're going to that. I'm glad you brought
um,
that up. That's big. That is big. That's big.
yeah, and so I I do so much work. I work with the soup kitchen and feeding the homeless. Um, Actually, this fall I'll start working with the Phoenix program once again, um, with helping with those kids again, and also I've just like I said, started working with the Alabama Justice Initiative program. Their program that got behind those banks that pulled out, um, got behind the banks that pulled out from having those uh, to build those three mega prisons in Alabama to keep them from being built, because we don't need three mega prisons. There, you know,
It's a
we
shame.
need
Yeah.
we need other things besides, yeah,
We
mega
need
prisons.
rec
And
centers and
so it,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the organization that I'm with, and we're getting ready to get some bills together for the parole board.
That's
We're getting
big.
ready to do some things, big things with
Yes.
that. So,
Yes.
so that's
That
what
is
I'm
big.
doing now.
Yes. I mean, this
Look
is
for
where.
some big things.
Oh yeah, we yeah, that's big, and that's what I really wanted to touch on. After we got everything else out the way, I wanted to touch on your work in the community for us as the Black and Brown community. You know what I mean? And you're working with the NAACP and helping ex felons, you know, find jobs and registering to vote and all of those things. You know, that's big, especially from this past election. You know.
Absolutely.
I mean, I voted. I tried to get the ones around me to vote best I could, but it was, this is the time that we need to, you know, our voices are somewhat being heard, and
Hmm.
you out here in the trenches and doing it, doing the damn thing. So I love it. I love it. Also, can I just touch on your workbook? I'm just quoting this here.
Yeah.
Can you just touch on your workbook a little bit?
Yes, it's called Criminal Thinking Reform.
Criminal
And
thinking.
yeah, and it's
Mm-hmm.
to change criminal thinking to responsible thinking. And it will also give informative information about employment as
Mm-hmm.
well as voting, and give information of resources that you can go to from state to state, national. And so it will be released soon. I'm working on that diligently to
Let's
get that
go.
out as
Let's get
soon as possible.
it.
So yeah,
Yes, let's
yeah.
get it. Let's
So
get it.
I'm very
Um,
proud of that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I love it. So you got that working. Your book,
Mhm.
Beyond the Dream. Um, It's
Yes.
on. You can pre-order it now. Let's just.
You can pre-order it, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're getting that. We're getting everything together, so everything will be out very, very soon. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very soon. So we're working on it diligently to get
Yes.
it out very soon.
Let's
Yes.
go. So can we can I've already been to it. We can pre-order it on your website, right? I just want to give you
Yes.
let you give your
Yes, you can.
website for our listeners and everything, and so we can post it in.
Yes.
Yes. So if you can just
Yes.
give your website for us.
PerrionRoberts.com.
PerrionRoberts.com.
.com. Yes.
PerrionRoberts.com. Beyond
Yes.
the Dream.
Mhm.
Go ahead, hey, pre-order it now. I'm gonna pre-order mine because
Yes.
you're real and you're very
It,
transparent, and I love that. And I like to read, but I like to only read things where I feel like I can relate to. And this is something I feel like personally I haven't gone through the exact same things, but I grew up around certain family members and different things where hey, I can relate to, and I can relate to family getting out of prison and having a hard time getting back into the community, and trying to do better, and you're out here
right.
doing it, and making a way for us. And I applaud you. I salute you. I really do. I salute you. So
Thank you. Thank
no
you.
problem. No
I'd like to
problem.
meet your dad.
Oh yeah, we gonna get it.
Yeah.
We gonna get the fella on here. Dodging, but we'll get a young fella on here. Well, I don't know if we can get back on here or something. We can. I don't know. I mean, I know you're a busy woman, so I'm not.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely that would be great because I'm down here in Montgomery, so not too far from Huntsville at all. So yes. So Perrion Roberts, man, this is big. I just appreciate you coming on and giving us the opportunity to interview you. And
I appreciate you having me.
oh, thank you. And I'm telling your story. And I follow you on Instagram already.
Thank you.
Perrion underscore, I already know it, Perrion underscore Roberts, like PerrionRoberts.com. But if you would like to give anything else, feel free. Just go ahead and lay it on and say it. Anywhere else
You
we
said
can.
it all. It's Perrion underscore Roberts. That's my Instagram.
Yes.
And yeah, you said it all. So that's
Yes.
it. That's it.
All right. Well, I don't want to
Follow
hold you
me.
too
Follow
long.
me.
Yeah, follow. I love it. I follow you. I see your posts all the time. So I love the family atmosphere that you bring to your page, and it's just a shining light, and I love it. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Yes. So this has been real. This is Perrion Roberts here at the Stream Champ Show, episode 20 for us. It's your host Tony, and I hope we can have you back in some form where I have my other hosts on here.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yes. So we appreciate you, and I just want you to just enjoy the rest of your evening.
When we release the book, I'll come back.
Okay, let's do that. Hey, we are Stream Champs.
Yes.
Hey, when you release the book, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
If I gotta keep reaching out to you, I'll reach back out to you. Let's do that. All right. So you keep doing all the things you're doing, and keep being that shining light, and keep being a boss. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Yes. So
Thank you.
Thank you. So you have a great evening. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.